A $7.7 million expansion in Portage County for mental health services, the latest on the news crisis, coming to Ravenna.
And Republicans on the Hill are planning to bring back funding for the Department of Homeland Security. More on this at 6.
A promise from the big beautiful bill may be coming through in your tax refunds. We look at the numbers and more as Kent Stater TV starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening and welcome back to Kent Stater TV. I'm Sydney Brown.
And filling in for Joe Malvin, I'm Gage Wellman. Thank you for joining us tonight. We start with news in Ravenna.
Yes, we begin with how Portage County is addressing the mental health crisis with a center costing nearly $8 million.
Crews are in the final stages of the project at Coleman Health Services. KSTV's Talia Scassa was at the center to learn more. Talia?
Yes, a new mental health resource is coming to Portage County this spring. The Portage Crisis Center in Ravenna is going to offer immediate support for those experiencing a crisis. Portage County will soon have a new resource for those experiencing a mental health crisis right here in their community.
Currently, these assessments are done in an office-style environment, but the timing of an evaluation, the resources have changed dramatically, so you really need a much more comfortable, accommodating setting.
The Portage Crisis Center is set to open at the end of May.
The new aesthetic here in the center is going to provide a much safer and comfortable place for people to participate in those services and then await any transitions they're going to have to make as part of their care.
Providing immediate, compassionate care for those who need it most. The facility, operated by Coleman Health Services, will serve as a safe alternative to emergency rooms and law enforcement when hospital-level care is not needed.
At the end of the day, we want them to come here to get everything they need here where they can, to be in and out quickly, to do it in an environment where they felt safe, where they felt respected, where they felt met.
The center will include a 23-hour observation unit, an enhanced crisis stabilization unit, and a secure drop-off area for first responders and families.
It's going to significantly help improve access to crisis services for the community. Currently, we are one site where people can come for immediate help. We're hoping to include more people that we patient share.
The goal is to provide quick access to trained mental health professionals while connecting individuals to long-term care. Breaking the stigma around mental health now with Fast Help in Portage County gives lasting support. For KSTV, I'm Talia Scassa.
Talia, thank you. A 20-vehicle crash on I-271 shut down the express lanes for hours last night. At least 3 commercial vehicles were involved in the crash that happened just after 9 p.m. Ohio State Highway Patrol troopers say the road was icy when first responders arrived at the accident just north of I-480 in Warrensville Heights. Multiple people were transported to area hospitals, and their conditions are unknown. The highway was completely reopened by 3 a.m. this morning.
At the intersection of State Routes 14 and 43 in Streetsboro, construction is set to begin on Friday. Drivers can expect to see roads close around 6 p.m., while the 2 routes will be reduced to 1 lane of traffic in each direction. Now, one important note for drivers out there in Streetsboro, you will not be able to make a left-hand turn at this intersection, with the exception being a left turn while heading north on Route 43, and you want to turn left on Routes 14 or State Route 303.
Good information to know, and Ohio legislators are pushing bills in both chambers to make it harder for scammers to steal money from the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, more commonly known as SNAP. Both bills target the magnetic strip and EBT cards that are vulnerable to the criminal practice of skimming, where hidden devices capture a person's card data. Reports to Ohio's Department of Jobs and Family Services in 2023 and 2024 estimate $17 million in benefits were stolen from Ohio residents in over 30,000 reported cases.
Well, it's just one of those days where you feel like staying in bed all day because of all those clouds. But thank you all for joining me and watching this Tuesday's weather forecast. So let's get into it. Here in Ohio right now, statewide, we are looking across typical 40 degrees March weather. Up north, it is a little bit chillier than down south because, as you can see in Athens, they are a little bit warmer with the 51 degrees. And all throughout Ohio, it was a little bit cloudy with some sun peeking through, which is why we are starting to warm up a little bit. If we go ahead and get a closer look here at Kent in the northeast Ohio area, we also are sitting in the 40s. So typical spring weather in Kent, we are at a nice 43 degrees, so quite on the chillier side. But still comfortable compared to yesterday's snow and wind, so much better, but you would still need that heavier jacket if you decide to go out tonight. And if we go ahead and look at the rest of tonight, also continuing with the cold temperatures and dry, no snow, no rain, so pleasant but still on the bitter side as we dip into those freezing temperatures as we're right there. So no crazy conditions for today, but I'll be back for tomorrow's forecast and the extended.
Casey, thank you. A turbulent year for the Department of Homeland Security, and now an official change in the leadership of the department with Mark Wayne Mullen. A U.S. Senator takes the helm of the controversial Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency and the department, which hasn't been funded since February 14th. As of yesterday, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents are now deployed at 14 U.S. airports, including Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. ICE says their goal is to help understaffed and unpaid TSA workers during the ongoing partial government shutdown.
Sticking with this issue, Republican Senate leaders say they've come to a plan that will bring back funding to the Department of Homeland Security. However, the GOP will still need assistance from Senate Democrats before the plan can be enacted. Republican lawmakers say the plan will fund DHS, except for a small portion of the immigration enforcement budget, which is a concession to Democrats.
And because of the government shutdown, Delta Airlines is currently suspending resources to officials in Congress. These specialty services include things like airport escorts and redcoat services. Delta says members of Congress will be treated the same as all other passengers. However, Delta's Capitol Desk reservations line will remain open for bookings.
The U.S. Supreme Court is hearing arguments over a policy that limits access for asylum at the southern border. Federal law requires migrants to be processed at the border if they claim to be fleeing from persecution. The policy is known as metering, and it allowed ICE agents to turn away migrants before coming to America. President Joe Biden ended this Obama-era policy, and the Trump administration has not said if they're bringing it back. The Supreme Court will decide whether migrants stopped on the Mexico side of the border have a legal right to seek asylum in America.
We're wrapping up March, but we're also wrapping up taxes for the year to see if tax refunds President Trump promised are truly bigger.
And the latest data from the IRS shows refunds on average are higher than last year. Yvonne Rodriguez has a close look at the numbers.
As of March 13th, the average refund amount for individual filers was $3,623, up from $3,271 about a year ago, according to the IRS. That's a nearly 11% increase.
If you are falling into a specific category like a senior who is getting an additional tax benefit or tax deduction, you may be seeing larger refunds because, again, that's a nice boost. The no tax on tips, no tax on overtime.
While many Americans are looking forward to the extra money, the war with Iran is making gasoline more expensive. Gas prices have soared to nearly $4 nationwide, according to AAA, up almost $1 from February 28th when the U.S.-Israeli conflict with Iran began. Those gas price hikes are fueled by the effective closing of the Strait of Hormuz that cut off 20% of the world's oil supply and sent oil prices skyrocketing.
It's going to be a tricky situation for a lot of people, especially anybody who might have, mentally started to plan for where this money's going to go. There will be other downstream impacts of higher prices for diesel, shipping costs, airplane tickets. Those are all going up.
Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at online price tracker Gas Buddy, says he expects high gas prices to continue into the summer, even if the war ends.
It's going to be a snail's pace for as long as this continues to stretch out, because it will take much more time for markets to globally mend and for them to resupply themselves. So the sticker shock may continue, though there could be relief if it does improve.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
And now moving abroad, international headlines are closely tied to prices hitting us back at home.
We are now joined by Cordell Rudolph on updates from the Middle East. Good evening, Cordell.
Good evening, I'm Cordell Rudolph. Tonight we bring you updates across the globe on conflicts in the Middle East. An update on the U.S.-Israel-Iran feud, Netanyahu praises Trump, but strikes will continue. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that President Trump sees an opportunity that would safeguard our vital interests. The U.S. President says Israel can leverage the significant achievements we have made with the U.S. military in order to achieve the war's goal through an agreement. However, Netanyahu says the attacks on Israel and Lebanon will continue. Aftermath footage surfaces of the Iran strike on Israel. Flames and smoke fill the streets of Tel Aviv after Iranian missile attacks Tuesday morning. The clips show locals witnessing the damages to homes, businesses, and cars engulfed in flames. There are 4 reported impact sites with 6 people injured. Video from the Iranian Red Crescent Society shows rescue workers helping a child evacuate the debris from one of the strike sites on the residential building in Tehran. Oil prices continue to rise above $100 despite President Trump's comments on ending the war. As fighting between Israel and Iran spikes, so does the oil prices. On Monday, the global oil benchmark was $114 a barrel, but then dropped to $100 after President Trump allegedly spoke with Iran about ending the war. Iran was denied any talks with Washington, and strikes continue to rage on. Our final story, a U.S. citizen has been freed from Afghanistani prison. After a year, 64-year-old Dennis Coyle was detained in Kabul in January 2025. According to his family, the Taliban held him in prison without ever charging him with a crime. Officials said the United Arab Emirates helped with Coyle's release without trading or giving anything. This is after Trump administration declared Afghanistan a state sponsor of wrongful detention. Much love goes out to the Coyle family as we watch to see if tensions will simmer. We'll keep you updated on stories like this and more.
Thank you, Cordell. If long waits and even longer lines at the airport have got you a little stir-crazy, after the break we've got some tips for you to stay calm.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Tomorrow
tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community,
your stories.
Well, welcome back, everyone. We've already heard some travel woes at the airports across the U.S. with long lines and short security staffing.
And with no immediate end in sight, stress for travelers is extremely heightened. Today's Health Minute shares ways to keep your cool before you board your flight.
As if taking off wasn't already taxing enough, now travelers are facing hours-long wait times as security lines stretch on, some even extending outside.
Travel is a recipe for increasing your stress level.
Psychologist Susan Alberts with Cleveland Clinic says all of these factors release the stress hormone cortisol in the body, creating more tension and irritability. While there's nothing you can do about the lines, you can control your composure.
The number one cause of feeling stressed is feeling rushed or late. Building in some extra cushion time will help you to feel calmer and avoid that stress that comes with feeling behind.
Next, Albert says to pack some peace, bring distractions like podcasts, music, movies, anything that can help you cope, and comfort items like a pillow, blanket, and noise-canceling headphones.
These are going to help reduce your brain from feeling overwhelmed and more at ease through the process.
Bring healthy snacks and stay hydrated to avoid extra stress on the body and help keep up your energy. And consider downloading apps that calm your nerves, like breathing exercises, mindfulness, or meditation. Finally, set expectations. Know that there will be bumps and delays along the way.
Knowing this ahead of time and being emotionally prepared is going to help you to feel less stressed overall.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Well, we are nearing the end of March, and we have seen a lot of bizarre weather throughout the month, but it appears that spring, the end of spring, is going to be going out like a lamb, and it will be more calm. So as we look into tomorrow's forecast, we do hit a high of 60 degrees, but it will not be later into the day, as towards the end of the night, almost near when the sun sets, due to the wind that we will see and the clouds, which offers to make a more chillier day, as we are looking at about an 83% cloud cover and 9 miles per hour wind, which isn't too strong, but it is enough to add the extra chill where you will need a jacket to go outside anytime tomorrow. And as we go ahead and look into our extended forecast, we are looking at a more stable thing compared to the roller coaster that we have seen, and we are continuing to see the highs of the 60s in the next few days, but again, still dealing with about 4 days with all those clouds and not a lot of sun. So still pretty average for the March weather. And as we go ahead and look into our weekend forecast, it does get a little bit more chilly, but still typical for your March weather. And we are not, while we do have a lot of those clouds, we will not be having any snow or rain, so overall enjoyable. So we may have to wait a little longer to get back into these summer conditions, which is a bum, but try to stay warm out there, Flashes. For KSTV, I'm Casey Baylog.
The Lakers and Pistons faced off last night, and Detroit had the final laugh despite another good Luka Doncic performance. We give you the details on their win.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Illicit fentanyl is the deadliest drug threat that our nation has ever experienced. We lost Leo when he was only 19, killed by fentanyl he didn't even know he was taking. He was my heart, my son.
My grandson. I wish you could have met him. Such a beautiful young man. Kind, smart, funny, sweet, a great kid.
Go to ladrfoundation.org to join us in the fight against fentanyl.
Thank
you.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
April is almost here, and so is opening week in MLB. But before we get there, we need to take it down here on campus for one of Kent's best baseball teams in quite some time. So let's head now to the Diamond. The Kent State baseball team just wrapped up a key matchup as they welcomed in Pitt at home in a MAC ACC battle, losing 13-4. Kent came into this game with the best record in the MAC at 18-4, and Pitt was 15-6 in their conference, respectively. What stood out for the Flashes is their collective hitting ability in line with a pitching staff that was equally as powerful. Pittsburgh was a challenge, and Kent just couldn't step up to it. The Flashes take on Miami, Ohio this Friday. Now heading over to the gridiron, the Kent State football team unveiled their 2026-2027 schedule, one with a packed MAC slate as well as some Power 4 foes. Kent State starts their campaign at South Carolina, being the second ever meeting between the two teams. Kent plays the Ohio State Buckeyes just a few weeks later at Ohio Stadium, setting up a tough series of games down the stretch. The annual Wagon Wheel game takes place week 8 at home with a chance to retain the historical Wagon Wheel trophy. Now, we'll head to some news in the NFL. Earlier this afternoon, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer and 58th overall pick in the 2012 draft, linebacker Levante David announced his retirement. NFL insider Adam Schefter broke the news and highlighted his outstanding 14-year career with the Bucs, in which he started all 215 games in 9 years. David won the Super Bowl with the Bucs in 2020, made first and second team All-Pro, and was a 12-time team captain. Congratulations on a heck of a career. But taking you now to, if football isn't your forte, basketball might be, as we take you up to Rocket Arena as the Cleveland Cavaliers will welcome the Orlando Magic tonight with tip-off set for 8 p.m. The Cavs are riding a 3-game winning streak with hopes to boost that number tonight. What stands out for me is James Harden's impact on this team, providing reliable shooting from anywhere from the paint or especially the perimeter. Donovan Mitchell will also provide some stability as the Cavs set up for a massive playoff push next month. But staying in the NBA here, we're taking you to Motor City, Detroit, as the Los Angeles Lakers visit the Pistons. Lakers on a 9-game win streak. We're going to see what they do here. We'll start off with Luka Doncic just drilling that three, averaging nearly 40 points in his past 10 games, making it 19-16 here. So we head to the second tie game. Kevin Huerter left alone 4-3 there, the sharpshooter, 38-35. Now as we hit the 3:30 mark, this time Danish Jenkins shooting. He's got another triple, a career-high 30 points in this game. But we'll take you back to L.A. and who else but LeBron James, the Akron native there. Just a kid from Akron. 7 points, third time ever being scoreless in the first half. But now this is Austin Reeves who drives and makes it into the net there. As we take you back to Detroit, this will be Jenkins on Reeves, going to strike back, make that jump shot. A little bit of revenge from a few minutes ago when Reeves got that basket there. It's Jenkins, game of his career, making it a 1-point game. And Doncic will just miss this basket here. Ends the game. Lakers going to lose that 9-game win streak. Detroit going to win this one 113-110. Now, the Lakers could use a bounce back as the Pistons remain on top of the East for a playoff push. But that's all the sports I have for you today. For more, check out the Kent Stater on all socials and catch the Playbook podcast and Sports Corner out right now. For KSTV, I'm Evan Schofield.
Thank you, Evan. For those of you who love all things space and science, this next story is out of this world.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Now, in case you missed this, NASA has announced a plan to build a base on the moon. The agency says the goal is to strengthen American leadership in space by establishing a human presence. The plan includes targets to land people on the moon every 6 months, but this plan will begin in phases with robotic missions to help build the base.
How cool. In another cosmic event close to home, a meteor was spotted over the Ohio Turnpike last night on the western side of the state, not far from the Indiana border. The Ohio Turnpike and Infrastructure Commission said the show came at 9:31 p.m. and was seen in a half-dozen states and even in Canada. This meteor comes not even a full week from the Northeast Ohio meteor, with fragments found in Medina County. How cool. We're seeing so much
Two meteors in 2 weeks, 1 week.
That's right. Well, we're grateful you spent your evening with us. Engage, thank you for filling in with us.
Thank you very much, Sydney, and I'm very happy to do so. You can follow more stories on online and social media at the Kent Stater. Filling in for Joe Malvin, I'm Gage Wellman.
And I'm Sydney Brown. Have a great night, Portage County.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth.